Namaste, angels. I'm here to do the daily reading for Friday, June 9th, the day of the honeymoon, the day Jupiter goes direct. Amen. Finally, it's been like a long, I think it's 4 months long. This Jupiter retrograde has been 4 or 5 months. I'm over it. I don't know about the rest of you. Happy to see Big Daddy go direct. This reading will likely take us into the weekend, be, for Friday throughout the weekend. And for next week, I'm still debating what exactly I'm going to do. So we may only have the dailies, or we may only have the weeklies. I don't know. I mean, I guess now's as good a time as any for me to share with you that, in meditation and receiving downloads and things, channeling messages, and in my own mind, separate and apart, at least to the extent that I am able to tell, from my superconscious and my higher self. I've been thinking that maybe now is the time for me to move more toward books. Even my ex-husband, my children's father, asked me about a week ago whether I was in the process of writing a book about my life. And it's definitely something I had thought about, not just since I've been doing this, for years. I mean, my life has been pretty crazy. I've met a lot of the celebrities that we talk about. I've come into, contact with them in different ways, interesting ways. I was attacked by a serial killer at the age of 17. Just things that nobody else has been through. I have been through these things. I am so very thankful for this time now to understand, especially why. But I've been thinking, with all that's been going on with YouTube, and it's been going on for a while, YouTube having changed its policies, and particularly with regard to ads, and they're all shook about what their ads or what their sponsors will think about, videos. So I, as an individual, haven't had the instance of them ceasing to advertise on my videos, but because they've done so in such a broad scale, the advertising money that they pay to people has dropped to something. I mean, it was already like a quarter. I used to say, who cares about this? 25 cents from, YouTube. I don't care if you like, dislike, watch, don't watch. Because if you don't, it means you're not meant to. Like, my message is meant for a specific group of people. But that specific group of people is not only on YouTube. So with the changes that YouTube is making, with all the thieves on YouTube constantly, wanting to use my messages, but not credit them to me. And I gotta, fight people. I've had people actually steal my entire video, like download my entire video and re-upload it as their own. Nobody needs this, and it's worth it. However, for me, that's why I've continued to do it all this time. It's worth it, for those that I save, even if I had saved one soul and led one soul, back to God, or something that had been astray, or back on path, or to understand their path with, what they were going through, why maybe their parents behaved a certain way, and that they never understood. Now it's in perspective. One person to tell me that that's what happened for them in their life because of me, or in great part because of me, that makes it worth it. I've had grown men, grown homosexual males, 50, 60 years old, really set in their ways, say, I've been left the church, and quite understandably so. I don't know how you could be a part of a church as a homosexual, male or female, for the most part, in most cases. There are some non-denominational churches now that are welcoming, and that's the kind of pastor actually that I am, non-denominational, non-secular. So, and I just happen to have an extra edge because I do know the Bible, Torah, and Quran. So I can relate to a lot of people. But in a general sense, yeah, it makes no sense for a homosexual to be religious, quote unquote religious. And, like, in some respects, how people, human beings, think of it, maybe not even spiritual. It's like they're locked out of so many things because people at too low a vibration sort of set the rules. People that don't get it themselves sort of set the rules as to what can be and can't be. So when somebody like me that's, higher, and again, not only a higher vibration, but better educated and better experienced in this very thing. I've been to synagogue. I've been to church. I've been to mosque. For them to tell me that they had left God as teenagers, and again, understandably so, but I helped them to return, or I caused them to return, that's enough for me to keep doing it. So that's why I had. But at the same time now, with all that is going on, to get back to that, I'm wondering if maybe it's time for me to try to reach a different group of people. Like maybe the people that aren't so much on YouTube or the internet at all, but that are at home reading books, to try to get an understanding of their history, as a human being, their history. And maybe I can teach them their history as something otherworldly too. And their future, help them to move toward that. So, with that said, I figured I may as well start with my birthday. Because if my divine masculine comes through, I've got plans. If my divine masculine does not come through, I've got plans. I won't be home recording videos for my birthday. I can promise you that much. In fact, I may be in Atlantic City. That's another story. I feel lucky. I feel Jupiter. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I will make changes, and hopefully that will help me to, in continued meditation, I guess, move closer and closer toward what I'm ultimately going to do. Which I think will include reducing the number of videos I do on YouTube, if I continued them. And I don't expect to cease doing them at all. So I would say reduce the number of videos I do on YouTube, or at least in this fashion. Maybe I'll switch some to, subscription-based videos that people will have to become a member in order to watch, or something like that. All right. That said, hashtag turn up. This weekend is going to be on and popping. But there will be haters. There will be haters, apparently. Because I shuffled to the 5 of fire. Now, it's not odd because it's fire, and this is Sagittarius. Competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. It is kind of odd, however, because this is, a time of love for divine union community, for the light bringer community. However, it's also a time in general, so for us and everyone else, of continued healing. A couple weeks ago, I don't know, some of you will have seen, I did a video. Was it from, it may have been the one for Our Lady of Fatima. So you might want to check out May 13th. But whenever it was, I did a spread with the Mary, Queen of Angels cards and the Ascended Master cards. I think it was. I remember Pan showing up. I may have used the Angel Tarot too, so maybe it wasn't as far back as May 13th. I'm really not sure. But I am thinking it may have been Our Lady of Fatima, and that would have been May 13th. And in any case, I did this spread, and it was very evident that Mary, as well as the other angels that came through in the other cards and the Ascended Masters that came through with the other decks, guiding us toward beginning to heal and or prepare our bodies for childbirth, whether we are male or for fertility. Actually, you can find it because there's a bunch of spermazoa on the on the thumbnail that I use. So, and that doesn't feel that long ago. So this may be as recently as last week, actually, not May 13th at all. As recently as last week, I may have done this. It's a blue picture with a bunch of white, sperm cells swimming toward an egg. But that reading, it was very indicative of the universe guiding us, male and female alike, toward healing of our sacral chakras and fertility. And anything else, you know, that may be involved with that in your life for you as an individual. That message coming through very strongly again today, not only in the cards, but through downloads and channeled messages that I've received with regard to the full moon. So we still have conflict and healing family issues. So this is another area of healing. It's healing family issues, and it's healing our sacral chakras and our genitalia and our fertility systems, and, you know, all of these things. Eating right, exercising, meditation and chakra cleansing and clearing and healing, and crystal work. Some of us may want to bring in Kuan Yin. You know, she helps with fertility, but different crystals, rose quartz, hematite, lucite, all of these things that are related to Venus and Aphrodite and Isis, all about fertility. Carnelian. So we want to work with that. But healing conflict with others, maybe our close friends and or family. Also the need to continue to release these people and other places and things with which we no longer align, and to nurture ourselves. But this card I shuffled quite a few times, this nurture yourselves, opposite like a sacral chakra and Pan. So that's what led me to say, okay, Mary's still, or she's still, and or she's back on this thing about the healing of the fertility and the preparing for pregnancy and childbirth and child rearing and families. From the romance cards, beginning with something not romantic at all, but finances and career. With that, I'll go into the significant events. In the year 68, Roman Emperor Nero commits suicide, imploring his secretary to slit his throat in order to evade Senate-imposed death by flogging. So that was like a, what they call that, assisted suicide. In the year 721, Odo of Aquitaine defeats the Moors in the Battle of Toulouse. 1549, which is 613, Isis's, Mary's birthday, and mine. The Book of Common Prayer is adopted by the Church of England. How very appropriate is that? 613, which equals 19, which equals father, by the way. 1815, the end of the Congress of Vienna. New European political situation is set. 1977, Silver Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II of Great Britain is celebrated with fireworks. 1997, British lease on the new territories in Hong Kong expires. Did you know the first Donald Duck cartoon, Wise Little Hen, is released on June 9th in the year 1934? Famous birthdays: Peter the Great, Michael J. Fox, Johnny Depp, his sexy self, excuse me, and Natalie Portman. Famous weddings: 1660, French King Louis XIV, 21, marries Maria Theresa of Spain, 20, in Saint Jean de Luz, or at Saint Jean de Luz. 19, loose, that means loose. That means something that's escaping me now. I think related to the moon? No, that's maybe. Never mind. 1908, Joyce Kilmer, 21, weds author Aline Murray, 19. 1936, novelist and journalist George Orwell, 33, master number 33, weds Eileen Maud O'Shaughnessy, 30, at St. Mary's Church. I don't know if you guys notice all these Marys that are coming through. Maria Teresa, St. Mary, something else I saw reading this. I guess further up. 1939, medical researcher Jonas Salk, 24, wed social worker Donna Lindsay. 1990, NHL goaltender Patrick Roy, 25, weds Michelle Peus at Saint Sacrament Church in Quebec, Canada. Famous divorces. 1977, George and Patty Harrison divorce. 2009, Elizabeth Watson, 39, divorces MLB outfielder Barry Bonds, 44, due to irreconcilable differences after 11 years of marriage. Famous deaths: Nero, James Brooke, Charles Dickens, Anna Atkins, Robert Donat, Miguel Angel Asturias. And at the bottom, there are some things that have gone on in June. I've been forgetting to go over these with you guys, and I think we missed a couple because this looks different. The first, oops, I didn't mean to click it. Cricket's T2O is born. How's that? Cricketing enthusiasts are fearful for the future of test matches. The seeds of doubt were sown on this day when the furiously fast T20 format was introduced, June 13th in the year 2003. A beautiful day in Moscow, often depicted as gray and formal, the comrades of the Soviet Union let their hair down and held their first beauty pageant, changing the life of one schoolgirl, June 12th, 1988. France's biggest ever bank robbery. Its vault was thought to be impregnable, but the bank had not reckoned on the ingenuity of a determined thief who died on this day with the loot still missing. This happened on June 8th in 1989. And why an American bought London Bridge. An iconic piece of old England was just what an American oil tycoon wanted for his new township in Arizona in the desert. Did he get what he was after? This happened on June 7th in the year 1761. All right, so Miguel Angel Asturias was Guatemalan and a Nobel Prize winning novelist and journalist, famous for his novels El Señor Presidente, which described life under a ruthless dictator, and Hombres de Maíz, which championed Mayan culture and customs. In 1967, he became only the second Latin American to win the Nobel Prize in Literature, born on October 19th. It was the 19 from father. In the year 1899, which is 999, he was a Libra from Guatemala City, Guatemala. He died on June 9th in 1974 at the age of 74. Robert Donat was English. His full name was Friedrich Robert Donat, and he was an actor famous for The Citadel in 1938, Goodbye, Mr. Chips in 1939, and The Inn of the Sixth Happiness in 1958. He was born on March 18th in 1905 and was a Pisces from Manchester, England, United Kingdom. He died on June 9th in 1958 at the age of 53 of cerebral thrombosis. Anna Atkins was English and a botanist and a photographer. She's considered the first person to publish a book illustrated with photographic images in October of 1843 with her first installment of photographs of British algae, cyanotype impressions. Atkins was known to have had a camera by 1841, leading some sources to claim that Atkins was the first female photographer. Other sources, though, came to name Constance Talbot, the wife of William Henry Fox Talbot, as the first female photographer. Unfortunately, as no camera-based photographs by Anna Atkins or photographs by Constance Talbot survive, the issue may never be resolved. She was born on March 16th in 1799 and was a Pisces from Tonbridge, Kent, England. She died on June 9th in 1871 at the age of 72 of paralysis, rheumatism, and exhaustion. She was tired. Charles Dickens, full name Charles John Huffam Dickens was British and a novelist. He's famous for having been the greatest novelist of the Victorian period. He was born on February 7th in the year 1812 and was an Aquarius from Portsmouth, Hampshire, England. He died on June 9th in 1870 at the age of only 58 or 13 or 11. 4. James Brooke was British, the first white Rajah of Sarawak. Known as the White Rajah, Brooke was a British adventurer whose exploits in Borneo and dealings with the Sultan of Brunei led to the creation of the independent state of Sarawak, now an autonomous state within the Federation of Malaysia. Brooke himself became the first Rajah of Sarawak and ruled the small independent state from 1841 until his death in 1868. Having no legitimate children, Brooke selected his nephew, Charles Brooke, as his successor and ensured power passed to him upon his death. Brooke thus founded a family dynasty that would rule Sarawak until the Japanese invasion of Borneo in 1941. He was born on April 29th in 1803 and was a tourist from Bandel near Calcutta, Bengal, India. He died on June 9th in 1868 at the age of 65 of a stroke. And they just took me out of the whole page of on this day. So if I can get back to it quickly, I'll resume. If not, we will move on. June 9th. I'm back. Okay. That was James Brooke, and the last of the deaths is Nero. Maybe that's why my computer went screwy. Maybe that's why. Full name: Nero Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus. He was Roman emperor. He was the emperor from the year 54 to the year 68, and the last in the Julio-Claudian dynasty. He is infamously known as the emperor who fiddled while Rome burned, and as an early persecutor of Christians. His rule is often associated with tyranny and extravagance, and he was known for executing people he perceived as enemies, including his own mother. His death ended in the Julio-Claudian dynasty, sparking a brief period of civil wars known as the Year of the Four Emperors. He was born on December 15th in the year 37, was a Sagittarius from Antium, Italy. He died on June 9th in the year 68 at the age of 30 of assisted suicide. Going up to the birthdays. Natalie Portman is full name Natalie Hershlag, and she's an Israeli American and an actress. Mainstream success came when she was cast as Padma in the Star Wars prequel trilogy. Her performance in Black Swan received critical praise and earned her a second Golden Globe Award from the Academy Award and the Academy Award for Best Actress in the year 2011. She was born on June 9th in 1981 and is 35 years old, a Gemini from Jerusalem, Israel. So I guess she'll be 36. Like my DM this year. Johnny Depp is American and an actor. Johnny Depp is his real name, according to this. He's famous for Edward Scissorhands, Pirates of the Caribbean, and The Curse of the Black Pearl. He was born on June 9th in 1963 and is 53 years old and is, of course, famous for far more than that. That's all they have listed here. He's a Gemini from Owensboro, Kentucky, USA. Michael J. Fox is a Canadian-American, an actor. Famous roles have included Marty McFly from the Back to the Future trilogy, 1985 through 1990. Alex P. Keaton from Family Ties, 1982 through 1989, for which he won 3 Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe Award. And Mike Flaherty for Spin City in 1996 through 2001, for which he won an Emmy, 3 Golden Globes, and 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards. Diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 1991 or 11, he has since become an advocate for research toward finding a cure. He was born on June 9th in 1961 and is 55 years old. He will be 56 or 11, a Gemini from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And lastly, Peter the Great. Full name, Piotr, P-Y-O-T-R, Alexeyevich, Alexeyevich. He was Russian, a Russian Tsar. He expanded the Tsardom into a huge empire that became a major European power. He was very interested in shipbuilding and maritime power. He was born on June 9th in 1672 and was a Gemini from Moscow, Russia. He died on February 8th in 1725 at the age of 52 of a gangrenous bladder. Ooh. Ouch. Going to the dice. We're beginning again with massage. Cocktail. And it's 50-50. Spirit says dirty movie. Cocktail. Yet again. Have another. And it's still 50-50. Going to the dice, as I showed you earlier, I'm beginning with the 5 of fire, competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. This can be jealousy, conflict at the workplace, at the office. This can be some inner turmoil through which you're going. And this can absolutely be jealousy, envy, and other BS involving family members, including exes, especially with whom you have children. And close friends that you consider like family. That's who comes through as the 5 of fire for me most often. Opening to the 8 of earth. Skilled work is rewarded, learning all there is to know about a topic and going back to school. 5 of fire. Opening to the page of fire. Outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. And a Sagittarius in my mind. First and foremost, but can also be a Leo, Aries, or somebody taking on those attributes. News of an exciting new endeavor. This page brings opportunity. Use your originality and ingenuity. 5 of fire. And the Knight of fire, who's passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless, and maybe also a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. Yep. Oh, goodness. What's going on here? Well, that Knight of fire trumped the 5 finally. And opening to the 3 of fire. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. Knight of fire back. Knight of fire could be running to that abundance, toward that abundance, to do what he has to do in order to obtain it. Knight of fire could be running to squash a party of 3, especially a romantic one, to, you know, cut somebody off or to join someone. Coming to the moon. How's that for a fabulous way to start? We just started with Sagittarius and now the moon, the Sagittarius full moon. Don't you love it? Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, and the need to release fears that are holding you back. So that's what I meant by that 5 of fire. Could be yourself, could be inner turmoil. You could be like conflicted, you know, and because it's fear. And can I move on? Can I go forward? Can I take off like the Knight of fire, you know? Because that's Prince Charming. That's the knight in shining armor. He's not, you know, he's not going to fail. He's going to save the day. He's going to be recognized. Do I have that in me to be that? The moon comes up, shows up to let you know to let go of any thoughts or feelings like that. Also to pay close attention to your intuition and to let you know there may be some things that are going on that you have, you know, about what you have no idea and you're not going to, you know, unless the universe decides to fill you in. The overall energy is the 3 of earth, the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work. Be a team player. So that 3 of Earth can also be representative of a party of 3, you know, romantic or otherwise. It may have something to do with what's going on at work, because for some, that 5 of Fire represents, you know, some sort of negativity, conflict at work. Somebody's jealous of you, probably because the boss has their eye on you and not them. You are up for the bonus. You are up for the raise. You are up for the promotion, and they don't like that. You know, they wish it was them, whether they're qualified or not. They just don't want it to be you. You know, that we all know somebody like that. The masculine, however, despite all that, is the 10 of Earth. A very happy family life, financial security, and finding magic in the little things in life. This, in many cases, coming off of some sort of legal settlement or something that I've been seeing over the past few days for the masculine. Surrounded by the 6 of Fire. There's his victory. Victory! Good news is on its way. Public recognition or awards comes with that. You are getting the recognition. Raphael is outside. So again, to connect it with this, you're getting the recognition, you're getting the raise, you're getting the promotion. That's why you have haters. But we're going to heal all that. We're going to fix all that by releasing it from our lives, from our sphere, from our cipher, one way or another. The end of a phase or situation, including the phase or situation where you were broke. Okay, that's changing. Spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. Release or death in the traditional tarot represents, in this beautiful 13, represents the sign of Scorpio, and can be here for another water sign as well, Pisces or Cancer, as did the moon. I don't remember saying that. The moon represents the sign of Pisces, but can be here for Scorpio or Cancer as well, or anybody taking on those attributes. Crowning the feminine, it's the Emperor with Archangel Michael, who's an Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, or somebody taking on those attributes, and is very like authoritarian, organization and logic, structure and discipline, and leadership. Surrounded by the 4 of Water, missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. In the feminine subconscious, the King of Earth. Generous, professional, responsible, and practical is the King of Earth. It's a successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. This was the overall energy for the week, and has come through several times in the dailies this week, appropriately so. Notice how it's our King of Earth mirrors the masculine's 10 of Earth, because this is a happy time or a prosperous time, potentially for all, provided we don't miss the opportunity. Crowning the 4 of Earth, being too frivolous or too cautious with money. It doesn't have to just be money, it can be love too, or any sort of abundance. Also good business ventures is what it can mean, good business decisions, and even giving to those less fortunate, which is certainly positive. And you can afford to do that, masculine, if you're the 10 of Earth. At the roots, strength with Archangel Ariel. Great inner strength. Release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. So we have the need to release judgment sitting here next to release. So deaf to all of this stuff that holds us back, whatever it is, even if it's our own judgmental ideologies and beliefs and hang-ups. At the heart of the matter here for all of us, the Queen of Earth, she was at the root the day before. She's moved up. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach. Deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. The Queen of Earth, I think in many ways for us all, represents Venus. You know, she can come through as the queen of, she can come through as anything really, because she's love and money. You know, that sort of covers all areas. But she rules the sign of Taurus, and Mercury is in Taurus. Venus is in Taurus right now. Mercury's in Gemini. But it's a perfect time for her to show up in this vibration as the Queen of Earth. For others, more immediately, this can be an individual in your life, whether they are an earth sign, a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or someone taking on those attributes. They can be impactful here upon this day. Maybe they're helping you, masculine, for example, to come into this abundance. Maybe they're your boss or something like that at work. They're who's giving you the promotion. They are who is going to make you fruitful in the area of material and or finances. Feminine, for you, maybe they're this person that's been holding us back as the Queen of Earth. Maybe we need to realize that we ourselves are the King of Earth, and we don't need the oppression of this person. And that's how that's the opportunity that's at risk of, that we're at risk of missing, is, you know, taking charge of our own situation in our own life, taking our power back from this emperor who shouldn't be holding it. In other cases, this emperor can be us, and it can be us saying, listen, I'm in the driver's seat now. I'm the boss here in my life. You know, I hold the sword. I'll do the cutting and deciding of who needs to be cut. But I'll get things in order. I'll make the plans. The next card is upright. Why don't we use it to go ahead and further clarify that emperor? Nine of water, your wish comes true, concerns fade away, a love of life. So whether this is for you to take on these attributes and be able to take back control of your life, or for your wish was for whatever energy was dominating you and taking your power away to, be removed from your life, your wish is granted. The answer is yes from the universe. And it results in a beautiful 11-11 for you with this 9 and 4, but also your prayers being answered and a prosperous time for you. You don't miss the opportunity in that case. You will feel this king of earth. It won't just sit here in your subconscious. You'll actually reap the rewards of it. Moving on to the romance cards. Again, we're beginning with finances and career, which I think, understandably why now, if we didn't understand it before. Financial issues are a factor in our love life right now. Opening 2, passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Finances and career. And love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Finances and career. And lastly, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Finances and career. I'm going to cut. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. And I think that was the overall energy in the romance deck for the weeklies. Our overall energy for the day is, it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Atop the 10 of earth, codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Interesting. Atop the 6 of fire, worth waiting for that victory. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Atop release. Playfulness to recapture romance. Allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So where some of us may have been acting like in, old, I call my daughter an old lady all the time. She's 15. But it's that old Scorpio personality. This is guiding us, if we've been acting like that, to take it down a notch, get a little bit more lighthearted and playful about approaching our relationships, especially if we're coming back, from separation, we're coming into reconciliation. We want to do that from a light and loving and compassionate perspective. For the feminine here, atop the 9 of water and the wishes coming true, romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Atop the 4 of water, separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. This is with a missed opportunity. Connected to a missed opportunity. Maybe because we didn't free ourselves from the overbearing, controlling energy that was in our life, whatever that represents. It's time to take back control of your life, as I was saying before. Before I even dealt these, laid these. Crowning. There's the reconciliation here atop the 4 of earth, right in between us, where it belongs. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Notice how it crosses the separation. It's like a choice. It's like there's an opportunity. It's 50-50, right? You can go this way, you can go that way. A top strength. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. And at the heart of the matter, atop the Queen of Earth, very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. You want this? You want this. The next card is upright. I'm going to use it to try to clarify the codependency. Interesting. Honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. This honeymoon is guiding us to, if we leave whatever it is to which we're feeling bound, even if that has to do with money and or family, leave that alone or cut the tie that's binding us. We don't have to cease speaking to people altogether all the time. But if we cut the tie that's binding us, we can have this reconciliation upon the honeymoon. Similar to the feminine being presented with an opportunity to choose, because it's 50-50, the masculine is as well. You can get with this or you can get with that, basically, is what the universe says to us all here. Next one's also upright. Let's see the separation. Right, we can get with this or we can get with that. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment if the opportunity isn't missed, if you go for it. So this is about us cutting the ties to ourselves sometimes of like pride. Again, getting back to that inner conflict, that 5 of fire can be with us. And can I let go of my pride enough to take it down a few notches and come at this from a playful perspective and, make the approach? Can I take it down a few notches? Can I recognize that I've got this one beautiful cup here and go ahead and pick it up? Or am I going to stay focused on these three? These three may represent the fight you had, whenever you separated, if that's your situation. Do you keep thinking about that? Well, I'm still not over the fact that he said X, Y, Z. And then you notice that right now he's saying, A. It's up to you. It's 50-50. Moving on from there with further advice from the Ascended Masters, we're beginning with Mary and nurture yourself. So she's telling you to take the chance to begin to live your own life as opposed to being under somebody else's thumb. But it's still up to you. Free will choices. Apollo says focus upon your strengths. Focus upon your strengths. Teacher comes in to represent and remind you of all the experience and the lessons. And maybe those will help you to make a decision. We know what happened the last time we ignored the fact that we had a cup here. Do we want to repeat that? Do we need another lesson in that? Because we can get one. We can remain focused on these three and get another lesson in what happens when we act like we don't have, one cup standing here nicely. Or we can turn around and accept the cup and use the lesson that we've learned in the past, toward moving forward and engagement. It's up to us. It's free will and it's 50-50. But teacher comes to remind you of your choices. Opening to peace offering in White Buffalo Calf Woman. This is about extending the olive branch to one another. Most people know by now also in my readings, it's about impending death, like surrounding, not within, hasn't been within, but surrounding the light worker community. And extending out to, celebrities and global issues, national issues and things like that. Clear and shield your energy, says El Moria. Boom. Flow and prosperity and Lakshmi. If we, go ahead and open up that flow for ourselves. There it is. That's the overall energy. If we release that which is toxic from our lives, we open ourselves up to the flow of prosperity. And with that, moving on to, and there's Raphael again, with that, moving on to release and the angel therapy cards. Work with Archangel Michael to let go of what no longer serves you or your purpose. including that past life issue that continues to hold you back. This situation has a basis in one of your previous lifetimes. Ask your angels to help you to remember, release, learn, and heal from your past experiences. Past life issue. Vegetarian, vegan, fresh organic fruits and vegetables give you a boost of high life force energy, which elevates your spiritual frequency. So Mary slipping this in. I was talking about watching what we eat, watching what we do. But this also goes toward removing people, places, and things from our lives that are toxic. You know, even though it says vegetarian, vegan, this is about detoxifying yourself. I'm going to cut on that note too. Integrity. Align your actions so that they match your values and your inner knowingness of what's right for you, not other people. And the overall energy is books. This is funny, since I began talking to you about my potential books or future books. Your life purpose involves writing, reading, editing, or selling spiritually based books. So, you know, maybe I have others among me, or maybe I'm among others who need to, you know, take the leap toward this. In a more immediate sense and relative sense, this has to do with writing things down, maybe to put in the God box, maybe to set on fire. This can be attached to the olive branch and writing notes to one another, or emails or texts in order to communicate. This can be involved with journaling, writing down what you've gone through, what you're going through, so that you can remember where you've been. Asking the angels to remind us of these things and to help us to remember past life issues. It helps if we write things down when we do remember them, in case we should forget again. If you're having dreams, keep a book or something, some sort of paper and pen next to your bed so you can write that stuff down, that coming through. This is about reading too. Maybe reading up, doing some research, maybe reading some scripture. Some of the stories that I read to you guys, you know, like things along that lines, those lines that help us with life lessons. All those kind of things coming through with this overall energy of books. Okay. Masculine, earth angel. You are a light worker who's come to earth to teach about love. Feminine, parents. The divine truth is that your parents eternally love you to the best of their ability. The angels are helping you to heal from any pain associated with your mother and father. Because I think that there's a lot of healing. The past life issue for a lot of us, it's healing that has to go on, either because of the way we were raised or because of our relationship with our parents, or both. It's a combination of both of those that have led to, you know, failed and toxic relationships with other people. So these are the things that we have to address. But this card guides us to, you know, sort of keep in mind and be compassionate and considerate of the idea that our parents did the best they could. Masculine, detach from drama, says Pallas Athena. Feminine, drink more water, says Oshun. This could be going toward the fertility and pregnancy thing. This could be going toward ascension. This could be going toward both. We need more water anyway. We need water in general anyway, as, you know, human beings. We are made mostly of water. Masculine, let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. I tend to call upon the angels when I pull this card for myself. But if you have any friends here on this plane that make you, you know, that offer you a level of comfort and support that you are happy with, then call upon them, or both, you know. There's no one or the other. This is one thing that's not 50-50 is asking for support and help. Feminine, finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. That's about what you're having to decide. Do I take a chance? Do I take a leap of faith in cutting myself away from, you know, where I'm comfortable with regard to the finances and career? At least I know what I'm getting. Or do I want to take a chance on a new life? That is 50-50, and it's up to you. Free will choices. From the angels, however, it's the Queen of Water who would probably guide you to cut away what has stopped working already anyway. Queen of Water is tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving, but she may very well be a Scorpio. So that's what, deaf to what doesn't align. She can also be a Pisces or a Cancer, or someone taking on any of these attributes. Relationships develop to a new level as well. Okay, reconciliation, getting all lovey-dovey, ascending and toward engagement. Should we free ourselves from what's holding us back from doing so? And that involves caring for ourselves and others. That's how we get to, my camera just went really black on my side. What in the world? That's how we get to what, freeing ourselves. Yeah. By caring for ourselves and others. By caring for ourselves, we get to what serves us as well as other, as opposed to other people. And we live in love for us. Why did it take me so long to get that out of my mouth? And lastly, renewal for the masculine with Archangel Jeremiah. Review and evaluate a favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. Renewal is judgment in the traditional tarot. And as I was reminded the other day and looking it up, is attached to fire energy, particularly Leo, and the planet Pluto. So, and therefore Scorpio, and cutting away what doesn't work, and then following our own inner fire and our passions toward what does. I hope that you guys found this reading helpful and that you enjoyed it. Namaste, angels.